So soothing.
Kind of smooth.
Kind of smooth. Kind of like bullet rye on the table.
Kind of like if you accidentally put some hair remover on your balls.
That's the end result is smooth. The way to get there is not.
It's the Mead, Metal, and MMA podcast. It's a Friday.
How
are you heathens doing? All you people that I threatened I was not going to send you a link anymore, so you had to go and subscribe.
That's right. Get on the train, the pain train. Mead, Metal, and MMA here.
Yeah, I'm such an asshole that way.
Yeah, well, this is a podcast for assholes.
Yeah, we get together weekly on Fridays. Usually Fridays. It's been Fridays for a pretty good run.
Yeah.
It'll eventually be a Thursday at some point. But
you can fairly say weekly, though.
It is week. Yeah, we haven't missed a week. That's for damn sure.
I was fucking gone and we didn't miss a week.
That's right.
I got that. I mean, we were late, but I got that shit uploaded the night I got back from Vegas.
Right. Yeah, it's all good. It all works out in the end.
Damn right.
Nonetheless, we come together each week, talk about the three things that interest the most: Mead, Metal, and MMA. How are you freaks doing?
Oh, man. I wish I could talk back.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting. We're gaining momentum.
Yeah.
Which is inevitable. If you do something long enough,
right?
Either entirety of society will show you one big middle finger and show you the door, or else you'll eventually start picking up some people who have some random interest.
Yeah, the crew is certainly growing. The one we did last week, which it wasn't a UFC post show, it wasn't a hour of me bitching about Yari.
Yeah,
and well received, which is always nice to hear.
Comments on the YouTube page too.
Yeah. It seems like every week we're starting to get some people, maybe not with questions, but at least chiming in, which is great.
Rocking. All right. So as we usually do when we start things off, we usually start off by bitching about something. But hey, if we slide right past that part, we get to the hey, how was your week?
All right. So
shit, this
all
is
right.
fun. Let me.
I got two.
Pour some more whiskey.
Yeah,
here.
actually, let me drink mine.
Oh, yeah. This week's podcast is brought to you by Bullet Rye Frontier Whiskey, distilled and aged in Bullet family tradition, Bullet 95 Rye Frontier Whiskey. Buy some today.
That's Bullet Rye. Yeah. So, work. Monday, I guess it was a huge football game. Was it Monday?
I don't know. This is the pro.
When did Georgia and Alabama play?
That was Monday.
Was that Monday? Yeah. So, national championship game.
If you care.
College foosball.
No Bobby Boucher.
No Boucher taking the field and win that game. So our hotel is primarily used for people coming to Portales to work.
Okay.
Occasionally for someone who's like, oh, I need a place to stay in Portales.
Somebody was trying to rent it by the hour.
But primarily it's like, hey, I need 6 rooms for like a week.
Okay.
Which is great. Keeps that place on.
Sure.
Because if we just relied on fucking vacationers or people coming down for funerals,
meth addicts and
the like, well, we might still be in business, but we wouldn't be a nice hotel, I'll tell you that. So Monday night I get to work, and I notice we have a group of 5 rooms that are going to be here for like 4 fucking weeks.
Oh shit, a whole month?
Yeah. Which I'm like, damn, that's usually really good. Usually these people don't cause a problem. Well, Monday night they cause a fucking problem.
Oh really?
Yeah. I'm back in my little office area where I have like fucking HQ. I got my security cameras. I got my laptop with all my porn and metal on it. It's a good night.
Sure.
But with recent events, I find every 4 to 5 minutes I'm looking at the security cameras just to make sure everything's legit.
Oh, yeah.
Primarily the ones outside.
Sure.
I get up and I look at the cameras and I see this skinny, long blonde-haired man. I'd like to say walking down the hallway, but to walk, you would have to kind of get that done on your own.
Okay.
This guy is using his shoulder on the fucking wall and staggering down the hallway.
On a Monday?
On a Monday night.
Wow, okay.
And this is one of the rooms that's here for about a month. Comes into my lobby and just sits there and is like completely bummed out. He's wearing a Georgia shirt.
Oh.
Well, so, I guess that's why.
You didn't give him a dilly-dilly?
I gave him a good evening, and he did not respond.
A good evening to use.
Which, as Lemmy would say, manners are free, motherfucker.
That's right.
Unless you're completely annihilated.
Yeah.
And then about 5 minutes later, another man walking down very similarly. Looked like he's a bigger guy, big, tall dude. Looks like he had a bum wheel because he's like walking with his fucking foot pointed to to the left of him.
Okay. Like
Walking-
the guy, like the cat on Gunsmoke. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Only he's walking just as shittily as this guy.
Shittily.
Shittily. So long story short on that, because this is, believe it or not, this is not the big tale. Long hair fucking pukes in my lobby.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And I'm like, great. I go, who do I call to clean that up? Oh, me. No, I'm the only fucking one here.
Ah.
So I immediately tell him, you got to get out of my lobby, bud, because I know you're drunk and fucked. I hope you're drunk. If it's anything else, I'm kicking you out. And he was a little pissed about it because, I guess the wounds of Georgia fucking blowing a lead and losing championship game sat a little shitty with him. Or shittily.
Shittily.
Which he begrudgingly did. About an hour later, my whole fucking hotel smells like cigarette smoke. The entire hotel.
Oh, that means you got residents hanging out smoking cigarettes in the room.
Yeah, just hanging out, and
which there are no smoking rooms, right?
Where we actually went completely non-smoking about a year ago. We had like 5 smoking rooms upstairs still. So I told the fucking boss about it the next day, like, look, it's one of those rooms. I don't know which one because they're all fucking packed together, but it's one of them. And I had to clean up puke last night, and I'm leaving now. And I leave you to take care of it, which she did. Thankfully, their boss is like 65 and kind of old-timey and don't take kindly to bullshit. Yeah. So he dealt with it. Next day, they were fucking on par.
Wow.
But the next day was actually worse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, how the hell?
And I'll try to keep this short. I get to work. I go to work at 11 o'clock at night.
Sure.
I get to work. I usually get there about 5 minutes early because I like to be fucking punctual. That's a big thing for me. I get to work, fucking knock on the door, no answer. I'm like, this bitch. Fucking hit the little buzzer button we have to summon us, nothing. So I'm starting to get pissed. I'm like, not only am I now officially late in the eyes of the time clock, even though I was here for 10 minutes, she's off dicking around.
Yeah.
So I have to do, for the 5th time that I've had to do since I've been there, jump the fucking desk. I basically had to hop my ass
physically over the desk.
Yes,
okay.
It's quite the sight. The last time I did it, I knocked over the monitor and the tower was it was terrible. I get back there in the office and I'm cursing under my breath like, God damn it. And I come in there and the girl I'm supposed to relieve is unconscious on the ground.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Eyes are open, but she ain't moving. And she had like a really strained, like her jaw was really tight.
Like a seizure or something?
Exactly. She had a gnarly seizure.
Oof. That doesn't sound like the kind of person who should be working a desk job there.
Well, she'd said she'd had seizure problems in the past, but they'd never happen at work. Apparently they come on when her stress is really high, and she's like a 20-year-old college student.
Well, see, that's where you go when you get hired somewhere. You say, I got a little seizure problem. Going to need a little liquor once in a while on the job, in order to keep it straight.
Or a little bit of that CBD oil, man. I'm telling you, that shit works miracles on children. I'm sure it'll work on older people. So I'm like freaking out. I was about to get my wallet out and put it in her mouth. But then I looked in her mouth. She'd already bit off part of her tongue.
Oh, great.
And had a fucking black eye. Basically what happened is she was in the chair in the back office. I was looking at the security camera footage.
Looking at porn and listening to metal?
Well, no, that's only after midnight. You can only do that after midnight. But she was just spinning around this chair on her phone, and then all of a sudden you see her right arm tense up. And as that chair's coming around, I swear it's like a fucking horror movie, dude. You see her face, her eyes are wide open, and she's like this. Just a face of tense terror.
Damn.
And then drop face first into the cabinets behind the fucking desk.
That's crazy.
A little bit of her tongue off, gnarly black eye. But I will give her this. She took 1 day off. Next day,
really?
back to work.
Yeah.
So I'll give her all the credit in the world for that.
She's probably one of these. She's probably been dealing with that for a long time. So
Yeah. I think that's why I was always curious, like, why'd your fucking boyfriend here every time I get to work? You're like back there doing some funny stuff,
Yeah.
But no, apparently it's because she can't drive.
Oh, well, there you go.
And she shouldn't. She shouldn't drive.
No,
like
not if that's your issue. Hell no.
Other than that, my week sucked.
Yeah. I'd love to bitch about mine or portend some great things that had happened or what. It's a boring week.
You need to drop your day job and start working at a hotel, my friend.
That'd probably end up running the gamut of all kinds of things.
It would be like Mead, Metal, MMA, and Hospitality podcast then.
Yeah.
We'd have to like add an extra 5 minutes for our bitching.
Yeah, well, and I'd be homeless because frankly I couldn't afford to work on the wage machine.
That is true.
So.
That is true. Unless you're managing, and then you ain't gonna have no free time.
Yeah. No, I mean really, I find like in life and terrestrial radio is great. If it wasn't for the listeners, it's
Okay, Randall.
no,
This job be great if it wasn't for old customers.
I don't have anything to bitch about. I have good stuff. I started watching a series on Netflix. I'd recommend. Shot here in New Mexico, Godless.
I've seen that pop up on my feed. Yeah,
I think you might dig. I hate the way that they do on these shortened series. It's only like 7 episodes on a season, and I hate the way they do it now because since they fucked themselves out of a whole bunch of character development, guess what? Episode 1 is. Ba-bam, 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 ba-bam. All the characters, all the backgrounds and bullshit. And
you have to take it all in. Episode 1? Damn,
yeah.
That's tough.
So what I do, I just ignore it, kind of. I'll play it in the background while I'm eating some chicharrones or something like that.
Wow. Are those keto friendly?
Yeah, actually.
No shit. Yeah. I could live off pork rinds, dude.
There you go. But and then let the first one run. Second one, I might start paying a little bit of passing interest. By the third one, I'm paying attention. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to watch all the rest of them and get, because I only have like 2 left. Yeah. And then I'm going to go back and watch the first and second episode again. So
did you ever go back and check out Black Mirror?
Yeah, occasionally. It's like a grown-up version of Twilight Zone. Yeah. If you look at Twilight Zone from the 60s and go, yeah, this is freaky, but, it's not that freaky. Black Mirror is freaky.
Yeah, the new season that just came out, I wrapped that up yesterday. Pretty good. Not my favorite. Probably season 2 is my favorite. But the last episode of this season, the spirit of Rod Serling is in that episode.
What I do like about it, because you don't have to watch them sequentially, because none of them have fuck all to do with each other. So.
No, you just have to have watched the episodes, because sometimes they'll call back to like little tidbits of a previous episode, but it's not story heavy. Right. Like with it, it's like, oh, that's that thing from that one episode. Like there's an episode where a guy uses a 3D printer looking thing to clone the DNA of workers he works with at a game studio and puts them in the game and just treats them like assholes.
Right.
Like you see that at the last episode of this season. It's really cool. That and Ash versus Evil Dead. Those are my 2 recommendations for the week.
So there we go. That's our week. All right.
That's the life portion.
Yeah, exactly. Get to the Mead portion. The Mead portion is going to be fast because we're still waiting on Longships and Troublemaker. I'd given some thought to racking Longships yesterday, and then I got the word you weren't going to be able to make it, and I was like, that can wait then. Yeah. It's not hurting us any to let it sit longer.
No.
So,
and I mean, we put the clarifying agent in. That's been over a week.
Yeah. So we're about 8 days after that. It's probably about time to rack both of them, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, so. Longships is the one that needs a little more time, I think. Not Longships, Troublemaker needs a little more time than Longships. I think Longships is close to like.
I think it's about ready.
Being ready to racked and just hang out without clarification or nothing and then bottle.
Yeah, one of them, either Northern Brewer or Midwest. One of the two, they're running a kind of a sale right now on free shipping, which is what we have to hold out for. Sure. So I got to kind of jump on that because we're going to need to get 4 cases of bottles. So
right on.
And corks and all that fun shit. So as long as it's all ready to go by the time we're off to Austin. Oh, which by the way, I might be going to Austin twice in this year.
I saw that. Yeah.
Having a tacos and cerveza fest on my birthday.
I'm telling you, man. Sometimes life can be pretty cool.
Sweet serendipity.
You hear that, Daryl? You hear that?
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how the UFC trip goes.
Austin's going to be like your Vegas.
Yeah. Well, if the UFC weekend sucks ass, and I don't know, I might figure out some other shit. But
there you
go. Your Vegas. How long does it take you to get to Vegas?
12 hours, 11 and a half.
Austin's like 7. So that's.
Well, see, I'm like, if I'm traveling anywhere more than 6 hours, if it's happening in Vegas as well, I'll just be like, fuck it, going to Vegas.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to be on the road that long, what does half a day matter to me?
Yeah.
But I'm weird.
Well, and a lot of people would say, it's 3 hours to Albuquerque, and I can jump on an airplane, and I'm there in like 45 minutes.
Yeah, they like to put their fingers in your bum and everything, man.
Do they?
I don't know.
Maybe I went through the wrong line.
I've flown out of Albuquerque. I've flown out of Albuquerque once, but it was on a little puddle jumper Beechcraft, so it's not like I was searched.
Yeah. No, you could have brought bombs on that plane.
That's right. I could have had like a 12-pack of knives on me, but I would have only needed 2.
Yeah.
Because it was me and some other person on this little boat in the sky flying over the Sandias.
Lordy. All right, moving on to metal. Now, after a very, very slow holiday season, Last week was a little uninspiring. Well, this week we start rolling out some, I'm hesitant to call them hits, but actually some releases this week, and some of which are semi-notable.
Yeah, I kind of look to you for my Friday releases.
Yeah, well, because
I like to learn them here.
It's just two of us, so shit. We got to kind of grab what we can grab on stuff.
Yeah, look out for each other
I kind of
musically.
lean a little more on you on the MMA stuff. I mean, I got the weird soap opera MMA shit, but I don't keep track of the technical stuff. But out this week, Audrey Horne, AudreyHorne. Their Blackout is the name of the record. It's straight 80s and 90s rock is all this
Yeah, and
is.
being a band from Sweden.
Yeah, from
they
Bergen, yeah.
they had, I mean, no melodic speed, no melodic depth, nothing. It was actually just kind of like common rock.
It's a lot, and that's kind of a common theme this week. There's a lot of rock.
A lot of rock releases,
this
yeah.
week. Avatar, which I thought was hilarious because
Oh, you know what I found out before we got started after you showed me that shit video?
yeah.
That's how they look all the time.
Okay,
That's their shit.
so that's kind of like
That's
yeah,
Lubbock Rock, gentlemen and
Yep.
ladies. That's I've talked about Lubbock Rock on here so many times. They are the epitome of Lubbock Rock, right
Now,
up there with
that
Hell
doesn't
Yeah.
mean that they're from Lubbock. But
No,
it
no.
means that they play.
No,
Lubbock
I think
a lot.
Avatar is actually from Europe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So,
But
but
yeah, it's called obviously because it's called Avatar Country. Why would you
yeah,
It's not country though. It's rock.
it's weird.
Yeah. I thought this was interesting. A band I used to listen to back when I was a child, Corrosion of Conformity, who used to be a punk band, by the way. They
Yeah.
played West Texas all the time. They were an El Paso punk band, basically, as they would transit through. No, then they converted over to being like a southern rock band, and then they kind of picked up the Pantera thing a little bit, and they've kind of done their own thing, sort of. But they put out No Cross, No Crown. I would probably, if I had to categorize them, I don't know if groove metal is a category, but they're definitely in that kind of
Sure.
that kind of club. But it's the return of Pepper Keenan. Guy had been gone for 13 years.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I don't know how
what
many
the fuck
releases
Pepper
they
Keenan's
had,
been doing.
working on that brrr voice because he's a lot more growly. He's a lot more growly.
Yeah, like a lot more aggression. You go and Deliverance, which is my favorite album. That's my favorite COC album. That and then Animosity, like close second.
Yeah.
The singing style is so much more like there's aggression there, but he kind of gets that he vibes good.
You got to be an old guy to kind of keep it that it's like that Lemmy thing. You got it, but you kind of keep it toned back.
That's right, because it's not cool if you do it all the time.
That's right. Another new release for the week is Hamford. Tom Seams Iakam is the I think is the pronunciation. They're from
Which
the
we might be saying that wrong.
Oh, I'm positive I am.
It's that weird fairies like O with the dots and like the weird little tail on the top.
Yeah, they're from the Faroe Islands. They have one that's a weird, moody ballad kind of a thing. But then they got another one that's just pure shit. So I don't really know. It's kind of a little hard to nail it down. And those are the only two tracks I could find from them this week.
Yeah.
Leaves Eyes, which it turns out you know a lot more about this band than I do because I knew nothing about them.
Yeah, this is a band I'd listen to when I was hanging out in the shop with no heat with a buddy in January playing Magic the Gathering. It's one of the bands we'd listen to.
Yeah, well, because
I lived a hip life back then. You
well, because apparently they had a lead singer that was awesome, and then
Liv Christine, yeah.
let her go, and they've got another one who's not the same.
I don't think they let her go. I think she left.
Well, she had some talent, yeah.
Fuck yeah, she has a great voice. She has that perfect voice for that like operatic metal that's really big now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Epica.
Shockingly big, yeah.
Tarja Turunen, I think is her name, is kind of like the epitome of that genre.
Well, the new album by Leaves Eyes is Sign of the Dragon Head. I would recommend if you're probably going to go, I don't know, like sacking fucking Northumbria, that might be some tunes you want to throw on your
but
eight-track player.
if you're sick and tired of that, like we're gonna hang out and go do just that kind of metal, pass on it.
Yeah. No, if you're a big fan of Insufferum, I think you'd dig.
Yeah.
And that's not really a compliment.
Insufferum like post-iron.
That's not really a compliment. All right. Now, good save.
See that shit?
Brandon with a big save with his big monkey hands. Yeah. All right, another one for the new releases for the week. And this is a band we actually kind of walked it into. It's Seizures. Not their first record, but I don't know which one this one is. I didn't get that deep on it. But Sleepwalker is the name of the new one. This is kind of an interesting band. I'd kind of put it initially on some of some of my ear. I thought it was a little bit like Opeth before this last record they had come out.
Yeah.
But you actually had a little bit of a better take that it's a little bit more like Periphery.
It's like, that degent metal kind of thing. Really, time signature changes for days.
Yeah.
There's no constant anything. It's always ever changing. And you got to have chops to be able to do that type of shit.
The lead singer sounds a shitload like Chester Bennington.
I agree. I think you're absolutely right.
And if you don't believe me, check it out for yourself. And I still don't know. I'm still torn. I either love these guys or I hate them. I haven't figured it out.
Well, I think what it is doom metal has really spoiled us on like vocal levels. This guy is the lead thing.
Yeah.
He overpowers the music.
That's a fact.
But he's got a great voice. He does. He's got good screamy, kind of like Chester style aggression.
If you ever wanted Linkin Park to be a metal band, which I think that was initially the goal, but that's
if you ever want Linkin Park to be a metal band, check out Hybrid Theory. It's pretty good.
but yeah, and Sages though, I think Sleepwalker you might dig or you might hate it. I don't know,
it's probably the best thing I've heard this week outside of the Joe Satriani track you played,
which is actually where we got right now. Joe Satriani. What happens next? A lot of these shredders from the late 80s, mid-late 80s and into the 90s, one-trick ponies. There's a lot of them you don't hear from again, really, because that's all they did was shred,
Right.
And Satriani, I think, was complicit in that, but he was able to build on the fact that he was more talented beyond just shredding.
Yeah, shredding and, like, tweaking sounds and stuff, it was all talent.
Well, if you want to hear, the sound is very similar. The guitar tone, it's the same. He's playing the same shit,
Yeah, as soon as I heard it, I was like, this is one of the big three.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's immediately not Yngwie.
Yeah.
Because that guy just he's on speed. So it's got to be Vire Satriani. And then as soon as, you can hear that mellow Satriani, because he plays, can't remember. But you can always tell Steve Vai song as soon as it starts.
Right.
Joe Satriani, you got to give a little bit.
You kind of got to get about 12 bars in before you
right in that
really,
first shred verse. Yeah. And it's like, oh, this is Joe. This is Big J.
I'm going to save this one for the last. On to the next one. White Wizard. The new Iron Maiden album was out, 3 or 4, 5 months ago, something like that?
Yeah.
If you're already missing, if you're wore out and you want something new, there you go. It's Iron Maiden. It's what it is. Except for the fact that it's almost like more of a callback to Paul Di'Anno, though, because nobody can hit Bruce Dickinson's shit.
Oh no, you got to be a certain kind of
except for lady singers, maybe. But White Wizard, Infernal Overdrive is the name of the record. It comes with a really talented bass player, really talented drummer. They got the old Gallup thing,
sick.
and and it's got the dual Strat lead, Dave Murray and what's his name. It's the same.
Yeah. I heard nothing like new or different on top of what it already was.
Yeah.
Which, I guess that's okay. But it's not going to blow your mind because it's shit you've heard before. It's just from a group of different fucking singers. And rockers, that's all.
Now, the new release of the week, I need to get really, really deep into this one, and it's got a shitload of tracks to do it with, and that's the guitar player from King's X, Ty Tabor.
Yeah.
Put out Alien Beans today, and it's a real groovy prog record. I haven't been able to listen to the whole thing start to finish, so I kind of have to peruse stuff. I don't really have that much time on Fridays to check out every album of every new release, but that one's one I kind of do want to check it out, but there's like 20 tracks or some nonsense like that, but it's a huge omnibus of Ty Tabor is what it is, because King's X is putting out a new record this year, so this is his solo project, so check it out. I would be curious to know what a lot of you think about that one, because the dude is sheer talent, on guitar, that often gets overshadowed by a really, really talented lead singer / bass player, in Doug Pinnick with King's X.
From what God, I could just hear him do like a guitar instrumental album.
Yeah,
and it would be pretty goddamn awesome. That dude is very underrated.
Yeah.
Well, King's X overall, I think, is very underrated.
Very underrated. Yeah.
Very overlooked.
Yeah. Well, that's what I got for metal this week. What you got?
I'm going to open up with this because it was probably the biggest news of the week. Eddie Clarke passing away.
And I like to blame you personally, but
go fuck yourself. There's a funny story behind that, and then we'll get back into Eddie Clarke. I had a buddy. He had sent me. This was 2000. Oh gosh, 2000X. I can't remember. Right around the time when Dimebag Darrell had been killed on stage.
Right.
about 4 days before that, he'd sent me a text message. Said, hey, because he knew like I was really into Pantera at the time.
Sure.
But it was after Pantera dissolved and they'd gone off and done Damage Plan and Anselmo was doing Down. He's like, hey, man, did you hear Dimebag Darrell passed away? I was like, oh, my God, really? He's like, no, I'm just fucking with you.
Oh,
4 days later.
That guy.
Dude is shot with a shotgun on stage.
Yeesh, that friend of yours kind of set it up then.
He did the same thing with Johnny Cash.
Oh, man. I'd stop hanging
But it
out
was
with that
right
guy.
after we'd heard, like, Hurt for the first time, and you knew, like, when you heard that song, you knew that was it.
Yeah.
That was, and, I mean, what better way to go up?
Last time they were able to drag him in front of a mic. Yeah.
But it was just because it was a good Lemmy quote, man. And it was on the day, and I was like, I'm going to share this with my friends because I think it's valid. It was a quote about Lemmy and, the gifts of being, if you can be by yourself.
Sure.
Which, that's I can fucking really get behind that. Alone time is fucking right time. But then I go to sleep because it was the night I worked. I wake up, and Eddie Clarke is dead.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the original classic lineup gone.
Yeah, that's
Gone.
Motorhead is, no more.
Yeah,
from
Filthy
start to
Phil,
finish.
he died in November.
Yeah,
Lemmy died in December.
couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, not in the same year.
But you're talking about
Yeah,
a
like-
time period.
yeah, time period.
Winter
Nove-
was a rough time for folk.
A winter of lament for metal fans.
Yeah.
And then Eddie Clarke died in January. It's a bummer. It's not a shocker. No one
Well,
was
this guy
shocked.
died from like flu. Though.
Yeah, he had pneumonia. He died in the
Pneumonia,
damn hospital
yeah.
like an old guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not really the rock outing that Lemmy had. It's like, oh, I toured, I found out I had cancer, I had a birthday, and I died.
Yeah.
It's a huge bummer, but it's saying goodbye to one of the best three-piece classic lineups in a metal band ever.
Yeah. No. In fact, there's other people that had played with Motorhead over the years. Not that many, but that the original lineup. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gone.
I mean, now it was Mickey D and Phil Campbell,
Right.
and they've kind of been there the longest.
been constant. Yeah.
But the Ace of Spades, Bomber, that era is now officially done.
Yeah.
This is kind of sad, and I'm only mentioning this more for Ruben's benefit than my own. You've heard of that Baby Metal band, right?
Which one?
Baby Metal. They're like a Japanese metal band.
Yeah, I have.
Fronted by the three little girls, and they got a little
shit,
backing
yeah.
band.
Right.
Well, they had their guitar player recently passed away after falling off of an observation deck.
That's metal. That's
That's pretty metal, I guess. Yeah.
I expect that's how Marilyn Manson will go.
I mean, it really sucks because Japanese people are really the technical nerds of guitar.
So you would expect like electrocution, maybe?
I figured, just shred it too much and like maybe the string got in like a cut or something and just
Like
heart attack.
gangrene?
Yeah, that's
Whoa.
right. Just shut her down. He
Yeah.
didn't change his strings early enough.
This
But
episode brought
falling-
to you by Ernie Ball Strings.
You'll never die if you cut your fingers rocking, motherfucker. But it's kind of shitty that your metal tale ends with you falling off of a fucking observation deck. Because you know what? It had to be his fault.
God, what is the metal way to go? I mean, obviously choking to death on somebody else's vomit might be one way, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Or I think the metal way to go is the way Lemmy went.
yeah. Well, that's kind of really like I said, I'm going to die, so you know.
I know I'm dying, but I'm still going to do my job.
Yeah.
Falling off of an observation deck is not the way to go. I mean, that's a little bit of a bummer, but
I don't know, like maybe bungee jumping, but forgetting to have them like tie the thing on your ankle.
well, I was really trying to embody that feeling of like, oh, how would that feel? Oh, that sucks ass. No, that'd
be
bad.
awful.
That's bad.
Maybe getting sucked out the toilet on an airline.
Does that ever really happen?
Like, I don't know. Do you think it prolapses people?
I thought that was porn that did that too.
Sir, you have a sausage hanging out your ass. No, that's my intestines. We're good.
Let's see. Metal Injection, which is kind of the website that we have chosen as.
Yeah, we tried a couple. Metal Sucks. We tried them. We tried.
Much like their name, they kind of blew as well.
Well, their name was kind of very.
I like consistency, and Metal Injection seems to give us that.
And Aaron Lambert's a good writer. He's kind of a freelance guy for those guys. Yeah. He's not one of the normal straight-up columnists. But, no. Very. I consider them, Metal Injection, to be the authority, I would say,
Sure.
if you're looking for information. I mean, obviously, Rolling Stone's still going to have some info, but not that much.
No, they're more in it for the clicks and for the info.
That's right.
They put out two lists today, which I'm going to cover lightly on both. Most anticipated releases of the year, 2018. We got Ozzy Osbourne up there, which is probably going to be his final album. But he's got Zakk Wylde back with him. He has the opportunity to close out an amazing career with a great album.
I really want to hear it. You know, I mean, I don't know if that's the most anticipated for me, but I definitely want to hear that.
Yeah, and this is in no sequential order. This is just albums that
Spitballing.
We got Slayer putting one out.
Yeah.
Tool putting one out. Fucking A.
There you go. And that's supposed to be second half 2018, according to the Guitar Player's Girlfriend.
Hopefully. New Megadeth album coming out, which is not really surprising. Megadeth has been very active. I mean, Dave Mustaine's an asshole, which is not a news break here. But they are active, and their last 2 albums have been really good.
They've always acted like they've been shat on by Metallica, right?
Well, Dave Mustaine holds a grudge.
But it's carried over the whole band. So they always seem like the runners-up and the Metallica annual Mother's Day Derby.
I would say musically, Megadeth is doing great until Metallica puts out an album.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Megadeth puts out great albums. And then Metallica puts out Hardwired. It's like, oh, well, who the fuck is Megadeth? You know?
Yeah. I think they're under a shadow, a certain shadow. And that's because they kind of really both came to prominence at about the same time.
Sure. Well, booted him out, and then Megadeth formed probably about 6 months after that.
Right.
Put out Killing Is My Business, and it was just a back and forth, until Metallica got on that 8 to 10 year kind of like, that's when we're going to put out new albums.
Right.
Mustaine's put out like 5 albums since.
Well, the guy's getting work done, that's for sure.
Damn right. And I appreciate activity.
Yeah, so do I. But I mean, I'm still a big fan of quality over quantity.
Sure.
But
Absolutely.
I don't know. And we're also talking about Dave Mustaine. Let's not bullshit ourselves.
Right. He is an asshole. Rammstein putting out a new album this year. I'm kind of looking forward to that based on my youth.
On your utes.
On my utes. Judas Priest, Firepower, coming out March 9th.
Well, that is the nice thing about White Wizard, because also they have that kind of 80s.
Yeah.
Definitely. If you're looking beyond the Iron Maiden sound, they've got a Judas Priest sound to them, too. So.
And if you're a Maynard fan, it's going to be a good year for you, potentially.
Perfect Circle
definitely putting out a new album this year.
First half of the year. Second half of the year, Tool. So
that's actually okay.
And then Maynard's going to go on like a 10-year break.
Fuck, I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, I'm done with music, motherfuckers. Yeah. This is it. This is my opus to all of you.
This is my Social Security check.
They got Corrosion Conformity on there. They have Ghost on there. The new album coming out. That's fine.
It's fine.
Killswitch Engage. Kind of looking forward to that. Not excited.
I kind of want to know the direction they're going to go after the last one.
Their last album was the first album they put out with their original singer coming back.
Yeah.
Because before that, they'd had, I can't remember his name offhand right now.
But I mean, but one album is fine, but it doesn't necessarily assert a direction.
No, well, these guys have been around since like '98.
Yeah.
They're kind of
tenured. I'm not bullshitting around like they're a young band. But I'm curious to know, after that last record and when the original singer, because he's still with the band, yeah?
Yeah.
So how do they go from there?
It's a weird transition because I really like the guy they had. Jesse Leach is their original singer.
Yeah.
That black guy was the one that did like End of Heartache and all of those songs. And that was a really good fucking time for him. And that guy's got some serious pipes for metal. Right. So, I mean, I'm certainly going to check it out. And under their up-and-comers list, they had it broken down in 3 parts. There is Chemist is on there, which we've mentioned on the show.
Right.
They're putting out a new album this year. That's about it.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of a lackluster. I mean, there's some good shit on there, but come on, I was expecting like, ooh, that's cool. And look forward to that. But when you have Perfect Circle and Tool coming out in the same year with a release,
2018 is going to be the year of Maynard.
Yeah.
And they also put out another list of 22 albums that will be 10 years old this year.
This is more of a depressing segment.
Yes. Amon Amarth, Twilight of the Thunder God, which is like my favorite Amon Amarth album. Bullet from a Valentine, fuck them. Disturbed's Indestructible. Here's one for you. Elevati, Slanya is turning 10 years old today. Or not today, this year.
This year, yeah.
I don't know this band, but I love their name, Genghis Tron. Meshuggah's, let's see, Obzin's turning 10 years old. Death Magnetic is turning 10 years old this year.
See, that's kind of crazy. That didn't seem like that long ago, but by God, it has.
Dude, yeah. And then we just got Hardwired over a year ago.
Year ago, November, so.
Opeth's Watershed is turning 10 years old this year.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
When are they going to put out something new? Because I want to know.
Well, they just put out Ghost Reveries. Well, not just. That's been out for a while,
A couple years, yeah.
Slipknot,
I guess any more nowadays, you have to assume that the band is going to, if they're established, good luck, because it's going to be a while.
Yeah. And Slipknot's All Hope Is Gone album turns 10 years old this year. Still kind of makes a man feel old.
I was already with Slipknot, the really early one. I think the first one or the second record?
The self-titled Iowa.
It was Iowa, yeah.
That like Left Behind.
So
that
one's way longer.
That is, yeah. Iowa came out in like 99, 2001. 2001.
Yeah.
I bought that from fucking Dragon's Lair. That's how old it is.
Right.
God. And as far as birthdays or happenings going on today, the only cool thing that happened, I don't want to say cool, but the only notable thing.
Jimmy Page had a birthday like Monday or Tuesday this week. So.
And Eddie Alvarez turned 34 yesterday.
Be a fighter?
Yeah. No, the rhythm guitarist for Pig Destroyer is Pete Townsend. This was the day he got arrested for child porn.
Oh. Well, nowadays I'd land your ass in prison a long time, but that's back in the old days when.
Yeah, if you had money, then you're impervious to anything from the law.
Well, that really hadn't changed a bunch, but.
Church.
Although don't ask that of Harvey Weinstein, who got beat up in Arizona, but that's a whole different
I guess
matter.
his reputation precedes him.
Hey, let's get to the MMA portion, shall we?
Oh, my God, man. I think we both have a lot for this.
Yeah. I'm kind of pumped. We talk about, not often, but we do talk about the broadcasting crew that they have for Fox, for UFC, for Fox Sports 1, for all the shit that they have going on.
Yeah.
And how Joe Rogan, he's now like doing yearly contracts. Mm-hmm. I don't know that Rogan is out the door yet. I don't really. I thought his contract expired somewhere around right now, but I don't know. I don't remember exactly. However, this is maybe a harbinger of things to come. Jimmy Smith was signed by the UFC.
Yeah,
to do color work.
That was something I just pulled up and learned about today.
And I don't know that
coming from Bellator.
Yeah. No,
which is funny. It's like almost like a weird exchange. They got Mike Goldberg, and UFC's getting Jimmy Smith.
Well, a lot of people used to get, and I because I kind of trolled Joe Rogan's Instagram account, Twitter account. People would give him a lot of shit. It's like, hey, that guy in Bellator is trying to look like you, and Rogan said, hey, man. Jimmy Smith shaved his head long before I did.
Yeah.
And he was doing the whole thing with like a dress shirt and denim in the octagon long before Joe Rogan did. Rogan was wearing suits. You have to go back and look. But in the old, 5-6 years ago, Rogan was kind of dressed to the nines, and Jimmy Smith was over there in Bellator kind of like with a mock casual kind of thing. And Rogan adopted that. Rogan adopted everything that Jimmy Smith has going on, not the other way around. That's the fact.
I can't remember seeing Rogan in like a suit or anything.
Yeah, he would like have a jacket and a tie and shit like that.
No shit.
Yeah, you go back.
I'm gonna need to see a picture of that.
Now
I cannot remember seeing Joe Rogan in a suit and tie.
It's right before UFC 100. That's kind of how he was decked out. He lost the tie, and that was like suit and shirt, and then he lost the jacket, and then he started wearing blue jeans. So
I didn't even. I wouldn't even wear the fact that he was just wearing denim.
Yeah. So, so that's the whole thing. Jimmy Smith is, aside from fashion choices alone, but he's a great color guy. I don't see a broadcast where he and Rogan are both calling a fight.
Oh fuck no! You're gonna see Jimmy Smith taking the place that Brian Stand left.
I think that would be good.
Yeah.
I think that'd be I would like to see one because they're wanting to do 3 guys now. Which my problem is, I think 2 is perfect.
2 is perfect. I mean,
if you have the good
if
play-by-play
you
guy.
got 3, you're kind of showing this like we don't trust this dude. I mean, like pro wrestling. You had Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler, and that was kind of like for the '90s your big thing, or in the '80s it was Gorilla Monsoon and fucking Bobby Heenan.
Yeah, well. If you're crossing over that direction.
Well,
but
commentary.
But it was always Goldberg and Rogan.
It's always 2-person teams. That's where you're going to get your goal.
And I will say that John Anik is no Goldberg.
No, he's the linchpin to keep other 2 people active in a 3-piece.
I mean, in a perfect situation, and apparently they're probably, I don't know, Anik's got something on the UFC ownership. I don't know. But I would say this. If he has to be the play-by-play guy, I think it'd be awesome if you had Rogan and Smith. But the problem is going to be they're trying to work fighters in. So that means then Jimmy Smith is going to get the FS1 cards, or whatever, probably doing desk work at the moment. But whenever Rogan's contract is up, look for that guy to step in.
I think that's probably accurate. Like I said, it seems like he's going to take that Brian Stand role.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be and I think it's a fine trade.
Yeah.
Because Bellator has also got another big name at commentary.
Yeah. Besides Goldberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One recently signed.
Okay.
Big John McCarthy.
Oh, really? He's going to be doing commentary?
He's going to be doing commentary, and he is retiring from refereeing.
Okay. Well, I was getting ready to say, I don't like the idea of a referee also providing commentary.
And he says he's done. He says he doesn't think he'll ever go back.
He's the best referee in the business.
Yeah.
Herb Dean used to be my favorite, and I acknowledge he was the second best. Yeah. God, what happened to that guy?
He has started slipping. Like when we watched 219.
He either might get murdered or, hey, that fight might get called long before it should. You know, it's not like he's not crisp and on the point.
But this is a sad day. I mean, I'm happy to see Big John. He's always wanted to do commentary, and I think he's a hell of a guy for it. What better guy to do like play-by-play than a ref who has been in there since UFC 2?
Kind of, except for the fact the guy is going to obviously there will never be a situation where he points out the shortcomings of somebody in a bad call in the octagon.
Yeah, I figured he'd have that station of like, let's go to Big John in the truck. You saw the replay. Was everything all right with that?
I mean, and he'll never do it because he doesn't. I mean, he spoke about it before, saying that the thing is too many people are in too much of a hurry to get on to referee. You say, yeah, sometimes a call is missed or a bad call is made, but overall you have to trust the integrity of the referee. So he's never going to be that guy anyway.
No.
I don't know.
Gosh, I mean.
So did he announce when his last – is he already done?
He's done. He is signed to Bellator.
So UFC 220 is going to have no Big John.
No Big John.
God damn.
No more Let's Get It On, man.
I don't know who we have now.
It's we got Tan Dan and we got Big Herb. Big Herb.
Well, Keith Peterson is kind of coming up.
Keith Peterson is good.
As long as they don't find the bodies hidden under his house.
Mark Goddard is okay. I want to see Keith Peterson in a T-shirt.
I want to see his arms.
I want to see all them Aryan Brotherhood tattoos.
There's going to be some weird racist shit on there.
It's got to be. That dude's wearing long sleeves in July in Vegas, for fuck's sake. But it's sad. You know, Big John, when did you not see Big John ref a fight in the past 20 years?
Speaking of Bellator, check this out. This is a card I wanted to see like 8 years ago. Chael Sonnen is going to fight Rampage Jackson at Bellator 192.
Oh, that's aren't they fighting on the same night as 220?
Oh, really? Well,
I think so.
Okay, so
because like they have an episode of Bellator premiering on the Paramount channel.
I don't know. I never heard of it.
Well, that's kind of their big thing. They're banking on right now is like whatever the Paramount Network or Paramount Channel is.
I'm not one to question Scott Coker because the guy's been a genius so far, but that sounds a little goofy.
I view Scott Coker as like the Master Carney of MMA.
Would
you like to see excitement and wonder? Well, why don't you see Chael Sonnen and Rampage fight? You know?
I don't know. I was thinking of the mannerisms of John Lovitz when you said that, though. That's
John Lovitz.
Was a Scott Coker form. You know?
John Lovitz is my spirit animal.
All right, what do you got?
Let's see. Cerrone apparently had a different opponent lined up for Austin than who's fighting now.
And Yancy Medeiros.
And Medeiros. Before he had announced he was going to retire, apparently Cerrone was going to drop back down to 155 and fight Matt Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Which, being a notoriously slow starter that Donald is, he'd get through that first round Matt Brown.
But he already fought Matt Brown. He already fought him and finished him.
Yeah. Well, they want to do it, but then Matt Brown retired.
Yeah. Well, Matt Brown's already...
This is a better fight. Well, it's the better fight for the fans. I don't think it's a better fight for Donald.
No. Yancy Medeiros is going to probably kick his ass.
Yeah.
That would be my guess. Hey, Donald Cerrone, I was talking earlier about Godless on Netflix. Dude's an extra.
That's where I fucking heard it from. You mentioned that earlier.
Keith Jardine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, I saw Cerrone in an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Charlie...
That guy's going to have a SAG card here before long.
Well, hell. I mean, he's clearly not really wanting to fight anymore.
Do you want to be a cowboy or do you want to be a fighter?
I wouldn't be surprised we're in Austin and Donald Cerrone comes to the octagon just shrugging his shoulders like, I'm just here. I'm Bob Sapp now. I just want to make some money and entertain people.
God, I hope that's not the case.
I do too, man, because this... I mean, shit. it's not safe to fucking be a fan of an MMA fighter anymore. It's just not.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm just going to be a fair weather fan. I'm going to jump on bandwagons constantly. Ozdemir fighting DC. DC wins. I'll go, yeah, DC. I was rooting for that cat all along. I think life might get better. I don't know. I won't be as bitter.
And apparently Michael Johnson is having some serious problems at 155.
Yeah. Well, that dude's always had a hard cut. That guy's a big 155. He's kind of a small 170. He's one of those guys that would fit perfect, kind of like Donald Cerrone, in an in-between weight class somewhere at about the 160, 165 ballpark.
Well, apparently his answer to this problem is to cut more weight.
Oh, shit.
Because he's bumping down to featherweight.
What?
145.
That dude
Did he
could
not
barely
learn
make
anything from
155.
Rumble?
That guy barely made 155. Now he's going to drop down to 45? He's going to have less power. He's going to have less stamina. He's going to, I mean, frankly, when you start cutting that much weight, and especially if you're over the age of 25, it does not behoove you to do so.
Yeah. And the big story, which outside, I think Big John's Bellator signing is probably the biggest story of the week. Dana White's saying he's stripping Conor in March. If he doesn't announce a fight. That was kind of the same thing It's like, if you announce a fight by the end of the year, I'm on the train.
Yeah.
You didn't do it.
So Dana White was a little bigger fan than you, so you give it until March 31st.
Yeah, I guess he's closer to the situation than I am. So if we don't see Conor fight announced by March.
I don't think we do.
I don't think we do. And apparently Joe Rogan agrees.
Yeah.
He says, I think he gets stripped. He hangs out. He waits for the whole Khabib-Ferguson thing to flesh out. If Khabib wins the belt, then I guarantee you probably see Conor and Khabib fight in Russia on a big ticket.
Conor's pretty good about coming in and beating fools. He's not very good about defending anything. So
yeah, he defends his honor. That's all he needs to do.
I don't even know about that.
It's the last nice thing I'll say about him.
Vitor Belfort.
TR for Jesus, bro.
He's gonna he's gonna retire after the UFC St. Louis card coming up on Sunday. Unless he's paid more than $10 million.
Well, Vitor, it's been a lot of fun watching you, man.
That guy's not a $10 million guy now.
I remember you blitzing Vanderlei Silva and just destroying that dude. I mean, you're not a $10 million man. No. You're not even a Steve Austin type of money situation either. You're lucky to still have a contract where you can make that Reebok money.
About $1.50, man. Yeah. And another one, I go out with a pop on this one. Amanda Ribas is suspended 2 years for an anti-doping violation. This chick waiting for her debut fight in the UFC. Bam, 2 years.
Oh, shit. That reminds me. I need to bring up that thing that you sent me on Messenger.
Yeah, we talk about a lot of the times that,
Yeah, I've mentioned it quite a bit.
It's just like a wasteland up until 2015.
The Nowitzki era has made its mark.
Yeah, we talk about the fact that fighters were on the gas until USADA came in, and then people started getting popped, and when fools started getting popped, then people stopped using shit. And we saw one camp in particular out of Brazil, the Nova União, which is the likes of him and Barão. He was a shithead that Jose Aldo. I mean,
the shithead.
Yeah, and Amanda Nunes, I think, is one of the few big names that's remaining in that camp.
But she's also done a lot of training stateside.
Yeah, she did. She got Coconut Creek, Florida. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's a camp, and I stumbled across some facts today. A guy was throwing out there, and I kind of checked it out. I was like, this guy's got his. Yeah. He's right.
Well, I'll throw up those stats right now.
Okay.
From 2013 to June 30th, 2015, Nova União had a record of 33-10.
That's a good record as a camp.
And outside of Brazil, 18-8 in that era.
Right.
Not bad.
Great record. Yeah.
When the Golden Snitch, Jeff Nowitzki, came into play.
July 1st, 2015.
To December of 2015. And that's 6 months.
It's only a 6 month run, yeah.
4-12.
Yeah. And that's overall.
And fights outside of Brazil, 2-9.
2-9.
And most of those fights were former longtime title holders.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, what more evidence do you need that Brazil is on the gas? The whole goddamn country.
Well, at least that camp anyway, and that's
Yeah.
the premier camp of that country anyway. I mean, that's not the.
Yeah.
It doesn't involve like the Gracies. It doesn't involve who the Shudo guys, and But I mean, those are different camps. But yeah, the premier one, or what used to be the premier camp you would see in the UFC was Nova União, and that's it. The numbers don't lie, and the numbers say as soon as Jeff Nowitzki came in, and USADA came into power, basically over the control of substances within the UFC, suddenly there's a camp that can't get a goddamn win.
Well, shit, when Nowitzki came in, that was when it was Aldo it was Aldo. They were like, here's my piss sample, and then he trips and spills it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, shit, no more pee. Sorry.
Yeah.
Vanderlei Silva ran away from them.
Right, and got a lifetime ban. I mean, whether
which got
deserved
rescinded,
or not,
but
yeah.
it's like UFC's not going to employ him after they fucking called him out on fixing fights.
Yeah.
Which leads us, which I fucking hate talking about Sunday cards. I hate it.
Because that's what we have is the UFC St. Louis card is
Jeremy Stevens, Doo-Ho Choi headlining.
Which really, I'm not going to knock a card, but especially Jeremy Stevens, who the fook is that guy. But, man,
He's that guy fighting in St. Louis on a Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like, honestly, from the prelim card on FS1 up to the main card, there are some good fights. The Fight Pass prelims have 5 fights.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, at least I got something to watch before I go to bed that night, because some of us do work Monday.
Well, shit, with this, damn, you'll be able to get your Sunday UFC on at like 3:30. Because this is in St. Louis.
Yeah, it'll work for me.
It's the UFC Fight Pass card is headlined by flyweight fight between Kalindra Faria, who doesn't have a Wikipedia, and Jessica Ai.
Okay.
Who a lot of people thought would be challenging Joanna for the belt before Joanna got dusted by
Rose Namajunas, yeah.
Thug Rose. Thug Rose.
But Jessica Ai has been not living up to what was advertised, a couple of years ago.
As soon as they started putting some real promotion into her, she lost.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to not ever get promoted again.
Wow.
Thiago Alves fighting Zach Cummings at welterweight. Probably not a bad fight. James Krause and Alex White fighting at lightweight.
Wow, James Krause, I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah. And at featherweight, headlining the FS1 preliminary card, Darren Elkins fighting Michael Johnson at 145.
That's a good fight 2 years ago.
I am more curious to watch the fucking weigh-in Saturday to see if Michael Johnson can cut to $145.
I'd like to see it because, like I said, that guy looked like death warmed over to cut to that 155.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it really showed in that Justin Gaethje fight. First round, that dude was tagging him with quality shots.
They had nothing
Second
after that.
round,
And that's the
Justin
cut to
Gaethje.
155.
Yeah, that's a lightweight fight.
145, I don't like dude's chances. I don't like the chances of making the weight. Even if he does, good fucking luck.
I think I would see a doctor halting it. I mean, 145, he's already kind of a big dude.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's like
He's
Rumble all over again.
He's like a 160, 165 guy trying to cut down to 145. That's
20 pounds in that window is bad.
Yeah.
Kamaru Usman fighting Emil Weber-Meek. Never heard of that guy, but I've heard of Kamaru Usman, and he is on a tear.
Yeah, no, if he ends up getting a win here, God, you got to start really, really kind of looking to give him a top 5. Yeah?
Which I'm going Darren Elkins in that main event fight. In that main event FS1 fight.
Yeah.
And with this one, I'm going Kamaru Usman.
Mm-hmm.
Dude's on a 170 tear, man. And the flyweight debut of Paige Van Zandt fighting Jessica Rose Clark.
Yeah.
Paige Van Zandt is struggling.
Yeah, she's
struggling.
The promotion has to throw her a bone. I'm not talking about Sage Northcutt. I'm talking about the promotion has to.
That's a bone they need to throw, man. Put out that super fighter.
But no, she's. I think she's mediocre at best.
Yeah,
but
fair
the
fair
problem is she has some skills. Ground skills. She has
and
some
she's
stand-up
fucking
skills.
adorable.
And she looks.
She ain't hot. She's adorable.
She could star as that chick in the that Frozen if they ever decide to make a live action one for Walt Disney, because she has the right look about her.
And she is fighting a lady who's won a split decision against Beck Rawlings. That is her highlight.
Yeah.
She had won a split decision before that, lost a unanimous decision before that, and lost a split decision before that. This is not going to be a barn burner.
But if Paige can't get the job done here.
Oh no, man! If Jessica Rose Clark beats Paige Van Zandt, all that marketing goes out the window.
And that's
you
why you don't.
Pretty
that's why
as
you
you
don't.
want.
You can't heavily invest in a fighter unless you really know what the heart of that fighter is.
Just like Gina Carano from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
She was beautiful and she was beating people's asses
Right.
until she met Chris Cyborg.
Right.
After that fight, I don't think Gina Carano has fought since. I'm going to take Paige Van Zandt on this one.
Certainly.
On a very boring decision.
Decision. Easily.
If she gets a finish, I think it'll do her a little bit of good.
God, I don't see it, but you never know.
I mean, flyweight, it's still a weird realm, 125. Who's the champ at 125?
Oh, so she's fighting at 125.
Yeah, this is at flyweight.
That might help her out some because that cut to 115. I don't know if that was a big deal or not, but still, it doesn't matter when you start looking at the technique. The technique is a little bit flawed.
Yeah,
that she's got. She looks a little bit over her skis, I guess. When it comes to
she doesn't add anything new,
and her striking is very.
And she is so busy in the public eye doing shit. There's no way she has time to reinvent her game.
Yeah,
which is what she needs to do.
Well, she needs to look out. There probably are going to be some beasts at 125 because I don't see Joanna making that cut to 115 again.
No way.
If you don't get your head off center line, it's going to get knocked off.
Yep. Especially, goddamn.
Paige Van Zandt has got a bad problem of keeping that head on center line.
Co-main event: Uriah Hall fighting Vitor TRT Tor Belfort.
I keep picking against Uriah Hall. I think he's finally got his shit together again. Maybe. I don't see Vitor getting a win here.
With it being his quote-unquote retirement fight, I mean, this guy's going to pop up in Japan.
That guy should have retired.
He will pop up in ONE FC, which is kind of like my number 2 fight organization, and then Bellator.
I don't know.
ONE FC has a far better. Don't get him confused with Ryzen, folks. ONE FC is legit.
Yeah, I mean that's where Ben Askren was at, but I don't know. I don't like promotions that are based overseas. So,
shit, man. That's why Pride was so great.
Well,
because they didn't test.
It depends on what you consider
they didn't
great.
Give a fuck. Well, entertainment wise, they were great.
Yeah,
that's where you got the sideshow acts, and then we got our main event. Which, by the way, I'm gonna pick Vitor in that one.
Yeah,
just because if he is going out, I want him to go out on his shield, just like Hendo. I want him to win the belt. All these seasoned vets, cheating or otherwise.
I think Uriah Hall throws a weird spinning back kick, just lays
right
him out.
to the liver. that would be the drizzling shits for Vitor. Not to get knocked out, but to get knocked out with a liver kick.
Yeah.
And we got our main event, featherweight. Jeremy Stevens. Jeremy, who the fuck is that Stevens? Fighting Do Ho Choi.
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking pick Do Ho Choi in this.
Really?
Yeah.
Stevens really struggled in his last time out. I think he got the win, if I'm not mistaken. But
since he got burned by Conor, man, he has not been the same. His last fight was good.
Yeah, but he lost before that, and I think he lost the one before that.
Let's see. He
I don't have his record in front of me, but
he beat Barao.
Yeah.
In May 2016.
Which is fine, but he didn't beat the pre-USADA Barao. That's the one that counts. That's T.J. Dillashaw.
Yeah, he beat post-USADA Barao, which, I mean, shit, we might be able to do that. I'll go through his last 7 here. He lost Charles Oliveira, beat Bermudez with a finish. That was the only finish he's had in probably about 5 years.
Glory, yeah.
Lost to Max Holloway decision, beat Barao decision, lost to Edgar decision. Lost to Renato Moicano, split decision at the Johnson Reyes Fox card. And beat Gilbert Melendez, which is kind of like his biggest claim to fame right now.
He's lost to some really good fighters, and he's beat some pretty good fighters.
Yeah. Gilbert Melendez is probably his biggest win.
Gilbert Melendez a couple of years ago, maybe. I think Melendez on the downside of his career.
Don't fuck with Stockton.
Well, I will fuck with Stockton.
But Do Ho Choi was on, oh my gosh, like a fucking 11-fight win streak until Cub Swanson beat him via unanimous decision. Before that, oh shit. Yeah, this dude has fucking finished 7 fights in a row.
Anybody of note?
Thiago Tavares, Sam Cecilia. The rest of them are in Japan.
Okay. See, I think that's why this is a good fight, because there's a big unknown there.
Yeah. I think Do Ho Choi is going to take it. And I think he's going to knock him the fuck out.
I think Stevens will probably get it. That's probably hometown crowd. I think probably might help him.
Yeah, that'll have a lot to do with it.
But Oh shit!
But it's Sunday card.
Sunday.
I might catch it after a nap.
Yeah, I'll catch the early part of it. That's all I got to give. And frankly, and I know why the UFC does it. They do fights on Sundays ahead of national holidays because they've justified saying, hey, well, everybody's got tomorrow off. No, they don't, especially not for Martin Luther King Day.
I work Sunday night, motherfuckers.
Yeah, and but I understand it's also because they can say that and combine that with saying, hey, well, we can also get the venue about half price.
Yeah. Well, it's all about saving money and making money.
Sure.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business.
Yeah. I mean, so, yeah, if you can save a lot of money over having to get a really big venue on a Saturday compared to a Sunday, shit, yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, the card looks good. If you ain't got nothing going on Sunday, check it out.
All right. Let's go ahead and wrap things up here. Get into our picks for the week.
Drinks, I'm going Bullet Rye. I've missed it.
It's a pretty
I've
solid
missed
pick.
it so.
And that's about all I can really do because I'm on this weird diet. I can't, go sucking any
The
beers
old
down. So.
keto-ass dickhead diet.
Well, it'll change coming up in like 1 month from now.
That's right. Can't go to Austin and be like, oh, I just want oil and grease.
I would like some lettuce with a pile of oil and some whiskey, please.
That sounds terrible, dude.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, well, it is. Yeah.
I mean, I could live off that, but I wouldn't enjoy it until I got to the ride.
Let's see. Yeah, so I'm probably good with going with Bullet for this week.
Metal. I'm going with what I think is going to be our lead-out track. I'm going Bomber, Motorhead. Rest in peace, Eddie Clarke. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Classic lineup of Motorhead.
Go any Motorhead. I would go with that for the pick for the week. And MMA.
I'm picking Big John to make a big splash in Bellator and commentary.
Picking Jimmy Smith to replace Joe Rogan in the coming months.
Oh! Oh, shit. He's primed to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's what he's been working on.
Yeah, and he Rogan had his MMA podcast with him. And, man, if you want to hear some real good knowledge laid down
between
a couple
two
of guys,
commentators. Two MMA commentators. Check it out.
Yeah, definitely something to check out. So, anyway, that's going to do it for us for this week. Again, do subscribe, man, because
Like, share, favorite, like all the other YouTube dicks say. I've heard them say it all the time.
Well,
but just you don't really have to do that. Just engage.
The reason we want you to is because the fact is more information is better, and if we get like more information back from you guys, even if it's just a hey,
we fuck up, calls out on it.
Sure, that's fine.
I'd rather be corrected than wrong.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. So it's kind of important to be able to kind of share that info and kind of get that out and let people know. Hey, if you dig what we're doing, share it with your friends that don't mind. Too many.
That's right. You don't even have to wear a rubber to share this. I mean, we're disease free, son.
Share it with your friends in shithole countries.
That's right.
An homage to our fearless leader.
To Mein Fuhrer.
We want people like Norway.
Oh man, we're gonna get flagged. We're gonna get flagged for unless they listen to the very end. I don't know. I think we'll be all right.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we're going to be back next week. UFC 220 is coming up. We're going to be talking some pretty mad shit about that big event, the first big one of 2018.
Indeed. Looking forward to it. Have a good night. Going to leave you with Bomber. Rest in peace, Motorhead.